All right, it is now 7:04 on Thursday, May 15th, 2025. Thank you for bearing with us, everyone. This is the meeting, the regular meeting of the Westport School Committee. I would ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. At this time, I will ask, do we have any comments and statements from the public? Hearing none, we'll move on to the informational agenda. We'll begin with our student reports. Mr. Key.
All right. Good evening to Superintendent Aubin and all school committee members in attendance this evening. I have a little bit of news to share with you about our middle school. First off, for some academic news, this Friday, May 16th, will be the halfway point for Term 4. Progress reports will be on the portal by Wednesday, May 21st. There will be no school on Monday, May 26th, in observance of Memorial Day. The middle school has been very busy with MCAS this week. On May 12th and 13th, grades 7 and 8 took the math portion of MCAS, and today and tomorrow, grades 5 and 8 will take the science MCAS. MCAS testing in the middle school will wrap up with grade 8 civics on May 29th. On Thursday, May 22nd, our Junior National Honor Society induction ceremony will take place in the auditorium at 5:30 p.m. Congratulations to all the inductees. Now for some other topics. The middle school spring band and chorus concerts are next week. The band concert is on Monday, May 19th at 6:30 p.m. The chorus concert for 7th and 8th grade is on Tuesday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m. for 5th and 6th grade. The 8th grade dinner dance will be held on Friday, May 30th from 6 to 9:30 p.m. at Whites of Westport. It will be a fun night with dinner, dancing, a photo booth, and more. Our field day will be held on Monday, June 2nd. Our 8th graders will be leaving for our Washington, D.C. trip on Tuesday, June 10th, and will return on Friday, June 13th. We wish them safe travels and hope they have an incredible time. Middle school student council news. We have the collected books, and they made bookmarks to create summer reading book bags for the first graders at the Westport Elementary School. The student council will be delivering them on Thursday, May 22nd, and they will spend time reading the books with the first graders. Now for some sports information. The Athletics Awards Night will take place on Tuesday, May 27th in the auditorium. Our middle school teams will be recognized at 5 o'clock p.m. And lastly, boys middle school baseball and girls 8th grade softball are in the midst of their season and will finish their season on May 28th. Go Wildcats.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Mr.
Good evening, school committee and all in attendance this evening. I have a very long list of dates to start off tonight. This Friday, May 16th, will mark the halfway point for Term 4. Progress reports will be on the community portal by Wednesday, May 21st. MCAS testing continues, and grade 10 will take their math portion of the MCAS on Tuesday, May 20th and Wednesday, May 21st. 9th grade will be tested for biology on MCAS, and that will be on June 4th and June 5th. AP testing will be finished this week, and so far AP students have taken exams in biology, chemistry, English literature and composition, English language and composition, statistics, U.S. history, world history, pre-calculus, and calculus. AP exams will wrap up on Friday with the AP psychology exam. The Westport Middle High School will be having an art show on Thursday, May 22nd at 6 p.m. in the upstairs art classrooms. Please come and see the amazing work created by our talented students. National College Decision Day was May 1st, and congratulations to all of our seniors who committed to either a college or university, a technical school, a trade, the military, or other career pathways. You've all worked so hard, and we wish you all the success in your future endeavors. The senior class enjoyed a soggy but fun class trip to Six Flags last Friday. Thank you to the PTO for helping with the cost of our buses, and thank you to all the chaperones who joined us for this wet adventure. The junior and senior prom is this Saturday, May 17th at 6 p.m. at the Fall River Country Club. We look forward to a fun and memorable night. More senior class news. Senior final exams will start next Tuesday, May 20th. Blocks A and B exams, those will be Tuesday. Blocks C and D exams, those will be on Wednesday, and blocks E and F will take place on Thursday. Friday, May 23rd will be a makeup day for exams and the last day of school for seniors. Academic Awards and Scholarship Night will be held on Thursday, May 29th at 6 p.m. Juniors and seniors should be recognized for all their hard work. On Friday, May 30th, there will be a senior breakfast and mandatory graduation rehearsal. Seniors will also participate in the annual Macomber and Westport Elementary School walkthrough. And perhaps the most important date for seniors is Saturday, May 31st, which is graduation. This will take place at 11 a.m. in the auditorium. The event will also be live streamed on the Town of Westport Westport Community TV and their YouTube channel. Congratulations to all the seniors as we prepare for this exciting event that marks an enormous chapter in our lives. Now for athletics. Our varsity boys baseball team has had a terrific season so far, and they currently stand at a record of 11-4. They are currently ranked 12th in the MIAA Power Rankings for Division 5. The softball team is holding strong, and they currently have a record of 8-7. They are currently ranked 28th in the MIAA Power Rankings for Division 5. The boys lacrosse team is determined to keep fighting through the season, and they currently have a record of 2-13. Girls varsity tennis currently has a record of 0-10, but they're not giving up and should be very proud of their efforts. The boys varsity tennis team also continues to persevere and have a record of 1-9. They should also be proud of their grit and determination. The Westport Athletics Award Night will be held on Tuesday, May 27th. Freshmen, JV, and varsity teams will all be recognized at 6 p.m. in the auditorium. Lastly, since this is my last meeting, as I finish my last report for the high school news, I would like to thank Mrs. Charette, Superintendent Aubin, President and past school committee members for this wonderful opportunity of being your high school student representative for the last 3+ years. I'm grateful and honored to have had all the responsibility of sharing student events and high school news with all of you. I hope Brian has the opportunity to take over my role as I move on. Thank you again to all of you, and I wish you all the best. Go Wildcats.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Jack.
Chair,
Nice job.
If I may, before our student representative leaves his last school committee meeting, I just wanted to say thank you. I've been on the committee for 2 years now and served a year as chair, and I think it's really important, the service that you provide to the district. We're not in the building every day, but we make decisions that impact the district, from the budget to policy decisions, and it's really important to hear updates on what's going on in the building from you, and you're the direct voice of the district. I think you've done a fantastic job of representing the district, so I want to thank you for giving updates to the committee.
Thank you so much.
Here, here. You just stole my thunder a little bit. If I had thought ahead and realized this was your last meeting, I would have said more than just this. But seriously, thank you. It has been a pleasure. I always appreciate the thorough reports, and good luck and congratulations on your next step, and best of luck at UMass Amherst. So.
I think we can make another one for like next week or something, just to have Jack.
Yeah, just
back.
have you come back.
Hey,
Sounds like you're eager to,
And a nice nod to your brother there, having him take over.
indeed.
Thank you, Jack. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, you did an awesome job.
Thank you both
Thank you.
so much.
And good luck.
And also thank you for hanging out a little later tonight than usual. So it took a little longer to get started, but thank you both.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, so we will move on to the, we will skip the superintendent report this evening, as Mr. Aubin is not with us, but
I could give you just an update on the phones.
Absolutely.
Seeing
Oh,
it's a
that's,
community
yeah, let's do
issue.
that. Let's do that.
So our phone system has gone down 2 Fridays in a row and Monday morning this week. We have the company, the vendor, sending out a new controller for the system, which has like these hard drives in the back of it that we feel is what has failed. And what it's doing is, we don't know why it's failing at a certain time in the morning and a certain time at night. We've been having 2 of the tech people come in at 6 a.m. every day so that they can assure that we have phones operating every morning, and also staying later at night to make sure they are still operating at night. But we had the vendor out this afternoon for a meeting, and they are shipping out tomorrow a new controller that will be installed by us. They had to program it today, then they'll ship it out. We'll get it at some point tomorrow to make sure it's operating, and then tech will be still on hand all next week just to confirm that it's staying up and running each day.
Thank you. And just to confirm, the IT director and the vendor are in
Yes,
constant communication,
constant.
making sure that,
Constant. We have been on them
okay. This,
constantly.
it's it has happened several times. It's certainly unacceptable, but it's also, I appreciate the steps that have been taken to make sure the vendor is held accountable.
Yes.
So that's good to hear, especially that they will be on site, ready for.
Yes, yes, they were on
for,
site today,
troubleshooting,
so
so.
that was helpful, and they have been between Mitel, the actual company, that the phones are from, and then our vendor has been diligently working with our IT staff to stay on this, so we appreciate everybody being on that.
Thank you very much for mentioning that, Mr. Poza. So with that, I will say that, first of all, the next meeting, we'll certainly probably put that on the agenda for,
Sure.
just to make sure that things are going well as far as those troubleshooting efforts. So next, we'll go to the committee liaison reports.
If I may first, just as a general note on this item, the select board at their last meeting this past Monday did approve the committee's appointments to the town committees. I'm not sure if communication was sent yet from the select board, but because that vote has taken place, you should be able to go and get sworn into the respective
Okay.
committees that were
Yes.
approved.
Those have been, I can't confirm, they have been transferred to the town clerk as well. So I believe everybody should have certificates ready to get sworn in there. So, do we have any, somebody, I guess you two just got sworn in technically, so we wouldn't have any. Mr. Pacheco?
Nothing new since our last meeting. Nothing from Cable Committee, and obviously the Superintendent Search Committee is dissolved since then, so I have nothing new from my other committees.
Okay, Mr. Tito?
Nothing to report.
All right, and I can report that there will be a meeting of the Long-Term Building Committee sometime in the next couple weeks. Still have not figured out exactly what date, but I'm looking forward to the next round of public meeting with the architects, and that will be at the old high school. So I'll keep everybody posted as far as when that is scheduled. Moving on now to staff and student attendance reports. I did have a question. So it is my understanding that at previous meetings, we did say that we were gonna do this quarterly or was it monthly, I think?
Bi-monthly.
Monthly, okay,
Bi-monthly.
okay, gotcha. That's what I thought, So I just wanted to make sure that we were on that schedule. I appreciate, again, the effort that goes into taking care of this report. I know it's a lot, but I just at first glance did not notice anything glaring jumping out except for perhaps one, a couple of numbers a little concerning on the MAC teacher assistants, actually. So I'm just curious, is it anything, I'll ask Ms. McDaniel, is there anything
Sure.
out of the ordinary that's been going on, or is it just, it's the first time I've seen something dip below 80% in a long time, so I just wanted to clarify and see if there's an issue with staffing level or anything.
At the beginning. There you go.
I think it's like the third page.
No, we didn't have any leaves. I'd have to
Could
dig
be.
into the data. I mean,
Okay.
sometimes the personal days are used a little more frequently.
At the end of the
People
year.
hold them till the end of the year and when the weather's a little bit better. So
Fair
I'd
enough.
have to dig into it and see if that was it, but could be.
And if they have children in the district, they'll be starting to do field
Field
trips
trips.
too
Of
over
course,
the next
okay.
month or so.
Okay. I didn't think there were any any
No.
grievous issues, but I just wanted to,
Yeah,
noted a little change there, so. Okay, anybody from the committee have anything further on the attendance reports? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the bill warrants. First of all, we have one for the 2nd of May for $300,874.96. And on the dated May 16th for $270,433.27. So, are there any questions on the bill warrants from any members of the committee? Hearing none, I will move on to the next item, which is the fiscal year 2026 budget update. We did have a town meeting the previous week. Mr. Gendro, would you like to take this item?
Sure. So the FY '26 budget approved at town meeting came in at $23,734,943. And that was after an amendment from the Finance Committee, after we had had some discussions with them to support an amendment to add an additional $80,000 of unallocated free cash to the school department's budget, which they had supported and made the motion when that budget item came up in the warrant. So that is the final figure. I will also note that as long as nothing changes between now and the end of the fiscal year, this would, or in the middle of next fiscal year, this would fully fund our operating expenses, and we should be able to avoid cuts going into FY '26. I'll also note that at town meeting, although it's separate from the operating budget of the district, there was important investments made from capital improvement money to safety and security of the district, particularly at the Macumber. There was some generators as well that are supported through that funding. And an additional $175,000 was added into the Special Education Stabilization Fund, which was established last year to sort of offset mid-year expenses that may come up to the district. So I feel that we're in a good place with this budget. I also want to thank the Select Board, the Town Administrator, and the Finance Committee for their collaboration on this budget. We had a number of productive conversations, and I appreciate their willingness to work together on this, and I think that we had a good result with where we ended up, given the resource constraints of the town.
Thank you, Mr. Gendro. And I would just like to give my thanks to your efforts on behalf of the Westport Schools. It has been.
I would also like to thank, of course, our business department, Michelle Raposa, Melissa Souza, the superintendent, the building department leaders, the building leaders that we met with throughout the budget process. We started this back in, I believe, October, with individual meetings with each department and building leader to get their priorities to help inform our proposed budget. And we came a long way since then, and it was all important to the process, so I want to thank and recognize their efforts as well.
Absolutely. I'll reiterate that. This certainly was a collaborative effort. I say again, I'm very thankful to Mr. Gendro's efforts, his diplomacy being well received, and I think that we have at least maintained a level service budget here without having to look into any cuts, and that is certainly a plus. And just want to again thank everyone involved with the budgeting process, as it is certainly never a fun aspect of our duties here. So, anything from any of the other committee members at this time? Hearing none, we'll move right along. The next item is to announce a memorandum of agreement with the ASME Local 2667. This is a memorandum concerning the cook position. And Ms. Raposa, would you like to just briefly
Sure.
summarize what
So we
action's
had
been taken?
spoken with the AFSCME president, and we've been working together with all of the food service managers to try to come up with a way to make meals consistent across the district. This level here, the middle school, high school, was where our main focus was, because we're serving probably about 600 to 700 meals a day. Meals are being free, but one of the things that we find is that for consistency, when you have 7 different cooks in the kitchen rotating, the meal is not always going to be the same if you have a different cook making something the next time. So they're all trained, but we felt that it was best to have a cook that would be more consistent, more efficient, for the quality of the food as well, that somebody that would actually focus on what they're making, because it's very difficult when you're making, 600-700 meals a day, and if you're making chow mein for that many people, chow mein is not always the same. Everybody has although they're, looking at a recipe, it does not always come the same. So we felt having one person that was going to cook, they're all trained to cook, so if that person is ever out, that person, there would be other people that are all trained to do the same, but we wanted to have the opportunity that if we felt we needed to hire a cook, we have the capability to do that. And there is a different rate. It's $2 more an hour than the regular food service staff, but it also comes out of the revolving account, so it does not impact the general budget as well.
Thank you, Ms. Raposa. So, again, this memorandum of agreement has been approved. Thank you again, Ms. Raposa, for the efforts to make this happen. And I believe at this time, we don't believe there's any further action we need to take. Just simply announce that the memorandum has been signed and agreed to. So with that, if there are any other questions from any other committee members? Hearing none. The next item on the agenda is a Lightspeed update from Mr. Toma. Mr. Toma is not here
Hi.
today, and I know, I know that there was, because of the phone
Correct.
situation.
Yes.
This happened after the agenda was posted, that the efforts of Mr. Tomo needed to be directed
Right,
towards
that.
that. So at this time, with the indulgence of the committee, I'll pass over this agenda item, and we'll revisit as we have been in meetings, just to keep track of the project. I'll revisit that at the next meeting. So moving on, agenda item I would be the proposed DESE Career Technical Education Admission Regulation. I will, actually, Mr. Gentro, would you like to kick us off a little bit and
Sure.
explain the reason for putting this on?
So although Westport is not a vocational school that would be subject per se to the specific, the regulatory framework that DESE is outlining, there have been some concerns or unintended consequences or impacts that have been noted to, or potential impacts noted to comprehensive high schools as well. Whether that's from spots that are allocated to districts and that being reflected in state aid as a result of that, if additional spots or spots change. Essentially, this framework would require the vocational admissions process to change by implementing an attendance and discipline-based admissions that then goes into a sort of a lottery system based on those criteria. And so that would be a change to the process from what's currently in place, but there have been notes of concern to districts outside of just the vocational realm because of the change in the structure. And obviously we send students to vocational schools, which impacts our enrollment numbers, so I just felt it should be on the committee's radar just as a general note. But the comment deadline to DESE was April 18th. Those comments can be viewed that are submitted to the docket. Those can be viewed on the DESE website. There's an anticipated vote of the Board of Education that will take place on May 20th to approve or amend or reject the regulation as it's proposed. So I just thought it was important to bring this conversation up and keep it on our radar, particularly as there's conversations about, and I think it's important, the work that this committee and the district have done to expand personalized programming here in the district to retain students and offer a more personalized approach and have a career pathway. And I think part of the designation that we're receiving will help with those, with retention rates here in the district. So, but I just thought, even though it's not a direct impact, that it's important that we sort of keep it on our radar.
And Mr. Gentro, I will note that other school districts have been noting through resolutions their mostly disapproval of the proposed regulations. I will say that I have significant concerns with this lottery system as they, simplifying it to say it's a lottery system, but when you get down to it, it just changes the approach pretty dramatically, I would say, as to how vocational schools would receive their students. I've had ongoing concerns about the state of vocational education in the Commonwealth for quite some time. One does not have to look too far at budget number comparisons to see that some vocational schools tend to have a lot more resources to work with, and I think that there's a real concern that not only are you with these proposed regulations, not only could there be an argument that deserving and students who could be really benefited by vocational education may possibly be passed over, but I think it's also if you implement this system, in my estimation, you're basically almost removing the purpose of the vocational school being there in the first place, and it does have an effect on district enrollment numbers and therefore the dollars that are attached to those enrollment numbers. So I would recommend that, of course, the comment period having passed would certainly be non-binding, but I would very much like to entertain a motion for a resolution to oppose these regulatory changes that are being voted on, I believe, at the next meeting of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education Board, and be this month or in June, I believe, right?
The board meeting
The board
is May 20th.
May 20th. Okay, so
It's next week.
next week. But I would just ask if any other committee members have any comments or questions about this topic.
I'll make a
So,
motion.
I don't know if, I was just gonna say, I don't know if, because we don't have a draft resolution in front of us, I don't know if,
It's
Without
very
lang-
true.
without
Without
language,
language, it would be
but-
hard to, I agree. I think
I just
it's,
think it's something for the committee to watch, but,
would, so your intentions on putting this on the agenda, Mr. Gentry, is just to
purely informational.
pure information? Okay, all right, excellent. Well, because we don't have any resolution drafted, I think perhaps I'll move on from Mr. Melnick, if that's agreeable.
Yeah, I'll withdraw my move.
But I will say, it's something that we really should pay attention to, because I think there has been, there's been a lot of dissent about these regulations across the Commonwealth from many different voices, and I think that it's something that I agree that we need to keep on our radar, and at least I will be hoping that these regulations do not get implemented, so. Is there anything further from any committee members at this time? All right, we will move right along then. The next item is the update of the superintendent contract negotiations. A potential contract has been discussed at this time and provided to our superintendent candidate, finalist candidate. At this time, don't have any update other than to say it is in the process, so. We'll move on to the next item, which is a discussion of the special education job descriptions. And I would like to, if I could ask Ms. Raposa, could you give us just a brief overview, shockingly brief, that's what I say, of the situation that the district is in currently with regard to the structure of our special education administration, and how we would like to, or how it is being proposed that we proceed.
So a few years back, we had a special education director, and we had a facilitator. And through different committees and whatnot, we thought that it would be a good idea to split up that role and have two special ed coordinators, where one would be handling the elementary school special ed, like facilitating all the meetings, and the other one handling the middle school and high school students. I think there was different efforts that was put in play, was either a way to kind of help navigate through the special ed process, being able to have special education directors or coordinators spending a little bit more time looking at and participating in all the meetings. The problem that we started to see was that neither of the coordinators, not through any fault of theirs, didn't have time to meet when it came to budgeting, when it came to discussing anything to do with Medicare, with circuit breaker, with just being able to meet, because they're a huge part of the budget. So there would be many times that, unfortunately, they didn't have the time, because they were in meetings constantly, to be able to sit and discuss upcoming budgets, staffing evaluations. So during this year, we kind of have gone back and forth and decided that we needed to get back to that model of having one facilitator or an assistant special ed director and a regular special ed director. So we feel that's going back to the model that we used to have. Again, the amount of special ed students that we currently have, I believe it was 2020, we were at about 250-ish students. We're up to about 360 almost of special ed students. Again, that's putting one of the job descriptions is for an assistant sped director, who would be the one that would facilitate all of the meetings, and the other one would be going back to a special ed director that would basically be handling, all of the attorney cases, handling all of the large, the possible out-of-district students, any of the big student IEP cases that we have, doing evaluations in the classroom, spending time meeting with principals, with other special ed teachers. So we're going back to that model, and that's what both of these job descriptions were brought before the committee to do, is to go back to that model that we used to have.
Thank you, Ms. Reposa. So at this time, the committee members have seen draft job descriptions and have discussed it thoroughly. I do believe that it is in order. I would entertain a motion to approve the job description that was provided. This is actually on our agenda as item A on the action agenda, but I would entertain a motion to approve the job description at this time.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And that, I didn't hear any opposed, so I believe that carries, and we will move on to, the next item is the Special Education Director contract. Now, so interestingly enough, according to Massachusetts law, the two contracts that the school committee approves are the contracts of the superintendent and of the special education director.
Business manager as well.
And the three contracts, including the business manager. So, thank you. So, the business manager, the sped director, who hopefully we wouldn't have, hopefully we don't have to approve a business manager contract in the next, 3 months, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, thank you. Good. We're not gonna let you go anyway, but, so at this time, I just wanted to mention, a contract has been discussed. We have no executed contract to act on at this time, so we're gonna pass over this agenda item, but I did wanna mention, again, that those are the three contracts that the school committee does approve. So, with that being said, we'll move on to the next item on the action agenda, which is a review and act on school committee minutes from Tuesday, April 15th, 2025, Wednesday, April 30th, 2025, and the budget work session. I'm actually going to ask at this time that we pass over approving the minutes for the April 30th special meeting. Would like to, that's when we did the interviews. I'd like to pass over that for right now and put that on the next agenda. So at this time, we're going to be acting to approve. I'm actually going to go way back to the March 31st. You will note these are minutes of the superintendent search committee. This was a regular meeting, not an executive session, of the superintendent search committee. With that committee being dissolved at the conclusion of presenting a report to the full school committee, it now falls on the school committee the full school committee to approve these minutes. So at this time, I'd like to take I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the superintendent search committee from March 31st, 2025 alone at this time.
Motion, excuse me, motion moved.
And I'll second it. I'll ask all those in favor?
Aye.
All those those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the minutes are approved, and now we'll move to, I'll entertain a joint motion to approve the school committee budget meeting minutes from April 30th, 2025, and the school committee regular minutes, the regular meeting minutes from April 15th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, that passes. We'll now move to the next item, and again, Ms. Pino, we're gonna pass over the 30th, okay. Thank you very much. So the next item on the agenda is the, review and acting on the last day of school for the West, for the Westport Elementary School. So just a little bit of background, we had a situation, as many of you will remember, where we did have to cancel school due to a water leak on a Sunday afternoon, and now it has gone back and forth with DESE trying to figure out if the district was going to be granted a waiver. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So we will need to have a change in the last day of school for the West to Monday, June 23rd, 2025. I will note that there will be an incurred expense for this, and I intended to interface with the business office as to exactly how we'll make sure we get that covered. But unfortunately, it will be a significant expense to open up the building and to have the last day of school on the 23rd. But we've not been left a choice in this by the decision of DESE. So I believe this would require a motion to change the last day of school for the West. Again, there would be no, I believe it would be, actually, Mr. Posa, on
Yes.
Friday, June 20th, is there a change in that language as well with the early release day?
So
No.
June 20th will be the last day for the Macomber School and the middle school, high school, and staff. Early release day for students. That would be for, the early release day is also going to be for the elementary school students that day.
For busing
For busing purposes. If not, we would incur another expense if they did. So that day, basically, for all students, will be a half-day on that Friday, June 20th.
And just to confirm, this is not a change from the current schedule, is it?
Correct.
Okay.
The
So-
only addition is now the elementary school students and staff will have to return on Monday, June 23rd, and they will be here for an early release day as well. So that will be a half-day for all elementary school students, only elementary school, not Macomber, only elementary school students that day, and it will be a half-day for students and staff that day.
Thank you. So I will entertain a motion to approve changing the last day of school for Westport Elementary School students and staff, and making this an early release day for Monday, June 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Just wanted to know, it's my understanding that the financial impact was communicated when the district sought an exemption, right?
Correct. When the superintendent sent in, and he sent in probably 3 different times, the financial impact that it would have, which is probably approximately up to $10,000,
Thank
just
you.
for half a day of school. And that is for transporting our special ed students and also our regular ed students.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed. The motion carries, and the last day of school for the West will be June 23rd, 2025. That is Monday. It will be an early release day. That is for both students and staff. And we will now move on to the next item in our agenda is the acknowledgement of a Westport Education grant, Westport Education Foundation grant in the amount of $1,500 or $1,500. Also, acknowledgement of a Mass Cultural Council grant of $5,000 for the art show. With thanks, I will entertain a motion to accept both of these grants.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, the motion carries. We are appreciative of those grants at this time. We will move on to routine matters, correspondence and notices. I have none. Topics the chair could not reasonably anticipate 48 hours in advance of the meeting. I have none either. And so at this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we are adjourned at 7:44. Thank